Hopefully they downloaded the photos. I have a client who had 873 SD cards because they didn't realize that they can download the photos. So they
We're
just kept
just
buying more
buying new
SD
ones.
cards.
Oh no.
Oh my God. Like, what is this?
That's so expensive.
So expensive. Oh,
Oh man.
bless them. I mean, I
It's like
literally had
the
a giant bag of SD cards, and I'm like, what is happening right now?
Hello and welcome to episode 247 of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. I am your host, John Mansfield. Today we're talking all about preserving your family's legacy, your photos, your videos, your film, your scans, all of those things. Something that as photographers we are pretty familiar with, but not always... I don't know, we don't always talk about it. And today on the show, my guest is Haleh Shoa. She is the CEO and founder of Picturli, which is a photo organization, archiving, and design studio. And they scan photos, they convert home movies, and organize your digital files so that your legacy and your family's legacy and your grandparents and great grandparents and all of the things, all the photos that you have will live on. So we're talking all about that and just the importance of legacy, the importance of archiving and backing up. And we get into a lot in this conversation. So let's get into my conversation with Haleh Shoa.
Well, Haleh, welcome to the show. I'm excited to have you here and excited to talk about preserving legacy.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, could you give us a little background on Picturli and what all y'all do, and maybe even like how, because you're the founder and CEO of how did you come up with Picturli? Where did this come from?
Yeah, absolutely. So Picturli is a photo organization and archiving studio. We also do a lot of design as well, but our main services, we have three main services, is turning anything analog into digital. So this is the old slides and negatives and photographs and things and albums and tapes and film reels, you name it, whatever your family considered a memory. We turn that into digital, and our specialty is to make sure we organize everything chronologically so that when we provide a library back to the client, it's searchable and sortable. So that's a little magic touch that we give that is outside of just scanning someone's photos. And yeah. I know, yeah, it is a slice of magic when we deliver a library.
Yeah, that's really great. Like that chronological touch is a lot, because I can imagine like just sending like a shoebox of, old photos and slides and all of that, and then just getting them back from all over the years. It's like, okay, well, there was my dad when he was 3, and now he's a teenager.
97.
It's just, yeah.
And it's all
like
the same
jumping
date.
around.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, I've gone through so many iterations of mistakes on my own stuff, scanning things and then putting it in my iCloud and going like, wait, that's last month's date, but this is my parents' wedding and they got married in 1959. Now what do I do?
Yeah.
So it's really important for me to be able to give something to our clients where it's like they don't have to think about it, right?
Yeah.
So that's, and the way I started this business is because I absolutely love designing photo books. I sort of grew up in advertising. I was in operations, I was in project management, and I was in production, and I worked with the best of the best creative directors in the world. And I was able to learn like theory, color, and just design. It's, because I was in it with them. And so I didn't have kids on my own, but all my friends had kids, and I was sort of the unofficial photographer. And I would go over and take pictures of their cute little kids and then make photo books and collages and things like that. And so it was just such a joy for me to be able to do that for everyone. And I thought maybe there's someone out there who really wants me to make a photo book for them. And, of course, my first client did want a photo book. However, she had about 150,000 photos on her dining room table. And when I went over there, and she was like, and what about all of this? And I was like, oh, so yeah, I need to learn how to do this now too. So that was, that was a thing. And that project took 5 years.
Oh, wow. I can imagine with that many photos.
Well, it doesn't take us 5 years anymore, but our client was,
Right.
A, I was green, and B, she was sick. And unfortunately she passed in the middle of the project. Then it was COVID. Then, her daughter finally finished the project. But, so yeah, this is one of the reasons. There's so many sort of spiritual, avenues as to why I ended up doing this business. And of course we help so many families and businesses with their digital mess, because people have Dropbox and Google, and they've squirreled their digital files everywhere, every which way to sign, external hard drives, old computers. What do I do with all this? So we consolidate, we take out the duplicates, and we do all that too.
Yeah. Oh, that is nice. Yeah, because I can just even myself, I'm fairly organized, but I'll have hard drives from old laptops that crashed, and then just take it out, put in a little casing and everything, and eventually I will consolidate this onto my archives to where it's all chronological. And still, I have them. They're sitting in a box over here. I'm like, I don't know. That one's probably from the laptop in 2017. And yeah. So yeah, no, there's even people who can have all the capabilities, or at least they think they have the capabilities of doing this themselves, chronologically putting everything together, having it all together. A lot of times we don't do it. And a lot of times we're just oh yeah, I can do this, but eventually it'll be eventually.
Yes.
And yeah,
it's eventually, it's always eventually, until God forbid disaster strikes, like in Los Angeles, and it eventually became, oops, it's gone.
Yeah.
And the thing is, as a photographer, digital assets are way more vulnerable actually than physical assets, because if you drop that external hard drive, those assets are gone, right? If your stuff is not backed up to the cloud and you drop your phone, your assets are gone. And digital assets can go in a nanosecond. It's all of a sudden they're there and you have access, and then poof, it's dead.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, a couple of years ago, I got a new phone, and I kept the old one because I was I still have a bunch of photos on here. I had maxed out my cloud storage, and I was just I was going to transfer them to my hard drive. And I was I don't even know why I was doing it, but I was just trying to get rid of stuff on the old phone. And then it was do you want to log out? And I was like, yeah, sure. And I logged out, and then the next time that I opened it up, it was a brand new phone. It was the whole welcome screen, welcome to Apple, and all of that. All of those photos completely gone. It was just 2 or 3 years of photos that some I had emailed to myself, or I posted on Instagram or something, so I can get a low res version. But yeah, it's that nanosecond of just I pressed OK, and then I was oh wait, and it was too late. It was already gone.
Yeah. Or I get a lot of I just didn't want it on my Dropbox anymore, so I deleted it because I could see it on my phone. People don't understand the idea of sync a lot of times. And so they delete it in the cloud thinking, well, it's on my phone. And it's no, it's synced to your phone. It's a two-way highway. Don't delete it.
Yeah, you can't be in two places at once, but it is showing up
Correct.
2 places at once. Oh man, yeah, no, you're totally right. And we are very much in a digital age now, where we're every day we're taking more photos than we did for hundreds of years, and all combined, because everyone's got just it's right here in your hand, and oh hey, my kid's doing something cute, cool, snap. and then it can be gone with an error mistake like me, or with fires or floods and all of that. And having things backed up in a different place is so important, especially with like our tangible prints and stuff like that too, because that is the only one unless you digitize it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh man. So like through your uh, journey with Picturli, or even before, has there been something that like uh, a piece of advice or a lesson or something that just like changed your mindset on something? I'm all about mindset shifts and
Yes.
and all that. Has there been something that you were just like, this changes how I look at things now?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, doing what we do, we curate heavily. I just think people take way too many assets. They don't think about the carbon footprint. The pictures and videos that you take, they hold space. And,
Mm,
you're paying for that, yes. And also, so is the environment. It takes a lot of electricity. It takes a lot of data farms in order to be able to hold all the assets that we're mindlessly taking. So I take photos and videos very, very sort of with intention. I go through my roll often. I have an iPhone, and so does my husband, and we're on a shared library because I want to be able to just clean up both of our photos
yeah.
as we go. So for that reason, so yeah, I mean, for me personally, that has really affected me. It's like, oh my God, you don't need so many. I mean, I have a client who has three amazing, beautiful kids, really beautiful life, travels all the time, but she takes about 3,000 photos a month, probably more sometimes. So I just, anyway, it's like I try and instill that in my clients, like, hey, if I don't know if the environment matters to you, but you're paying for something to be stored. You really don't need 57 pictures of your third kid's first day of school. You only need three, maybe one, you know. And also it just becomes not so precious as well. I think it's the fear, it's the anxiety of hitting that click button so often.
Kids, I'm going to tell you an incredible story. A story about how I met your mother. And I'll tell it in less than 9 years. Years ago, I used to spend all of my time editing photos and straightening and cropping and color grading. All of my friends thought I was antisocial, but really, I was just overworked. Then I met Imagine AI. Imagine AI looks at the steps that you take from your raw images to your final products, and then they replicate that so everything looks like your edits. And the best part is that they learn more and more and get better after every single photo shoot. Since I've been using Imagine AI, it has saved me over 200 hours of editing time, time that I could spend on other things like going to Super Bowl parties and meeting your mom. So, if you want some extra time in your life, go to allheartphoto.com/AI and get your first 1,500 images edited for free. That's allheartphoto.com/AI and get back your time. See how I didn't fixate on your Aunt Robin? This is how you tell a story. Now back to the show.
But it's like, just take a deep breath before you take a photo and make sure you clean your camera. This is a lens, and it's in our pockets, it's on our hands, it's on our faces. Clean it before you take photos. That was my second lesson. Is I tell everyone, make sure you clean that lens with whatever you're wearing. Just make sure you wipe it. Because we do get a lot of blurry shots that, it's as a result of a dirty lens.
Oh yeah, yeah. All the lint from being in your pocket, or just like finger smudges. And yeah, there's so many times, because I'm a primarily a wedding photographer, and a lot of times I'll be there and they're like, hey, can you take a photo with my phone? And I open up the camera, I'm just like, oh, this is terrible. I'm just gonna clean off your lens here.
Always, Yeah, me too. Oh, like I'm, walking around and I see a family trying to struggle to take a selfie. I'm like, "Do you want a picture?" And I look at the camera. I'm like, "Eek, gotta clean that lens." And I always tell them, I'm a professional. You have to clean your lens."
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But no, I like that. It's a really good point that you have about like the overtaking of photos and just like taking too many. I think that it is a like a scarcity mindset of I don't want to miss this moment. I don't want to miss this. Like if I take this one, what if I'm missing the next one or
Yeah.
whatever that is.
And studies show that you're actually not present. You're more with the camera than you are at that moment of the child enjoying the first day of school or being afraid to go to school. Like, what does this mean for me? Like you're excited to take that photo, which is amazing that, it's being captured, because I don't have photos of me going to school first day in any grade, but it's amazing that we can do that. But I think it's taken over our being able to be present in that moment for what we're taking pictures of.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely takes you out of the moment. And like even like sometimes whenever I'm like doing like video or something for an event, I'm like focused on my framing and what I'm doing and making
Exactly.
sure that I'm getting everything in focus. And then I'm like, I don't even know what they were saying.
Exactly.
I didn't even listen to this.
Yes. Or when you go to a concert, when you we go to a lot of concerts. We're big music heads. Yeah, and then I'm like, oh my God, I gotta capture this song because it's my favorite song. And then I go home and I'm like looking at the video, going, God, I don't remember that guy coming in, because I'm like looking at the camera instead of looking on stage,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it really takes you out of it. And it's also like those concert videos, we think that they're going to be so great to watch back, and then they're just like noise. It's like, okay, this is so bad.
Yes.
There was something that I find a lot whenever I have way too many photos and I think you mentioned this also, that it's just like I don't know what to do with them. It's just like that analysis paralysis when you have too many options, and it's just like I don't even know what I'm going to do. I can't, like, if I want to print any of these and put them on the wall, it's like I have hundreds to choose from, and I can't choose one to print.
Yeah. And, as photographers, because I know you're a photographer in your audience, a lot of your audience members are photographers. We're so good at curating other people's, like you go to your wedding photographer, your event photographer, you put the stuff in Photo Mechanic or Lightroom and you're going through it and you hit the 5 stars when something just your body tells you this is an amazing shot, right? It's like, you get this like zing, oh my God, I love this shot.
Right.
But when it comes to our own photos, what is that? I look at my photos and I'm like, I cannot decide. So I have to give it to my employees and say, can you curate this set of photos for me? Because I get analysis paralysis. And it's the same thing with our, I think it's easier to curate photos from like way back when. So one of the strategies that I teach my clients is take today's date and go to the very first year that you can find today's date in your photos. And then just look at that. Just look at that. Do that every day for 5 minutes. And, obviously if you went to an event where you have 500 photos from that event, it's going to take you more than 5 minutes. Yeah. But it will be easier to delete those. Or better yet, to heart the ones you like. Heart the ones you like, so then that way you can easily find them. So yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea, because you're removed enough to where you're not still feeling all of the things, and there's almost that like little bit of nostalgia of like, oh yeah, I remember that. And then it's like, I don't really remember this. This doesn't spark anything for me. We can just kind of move on. But like this, oh, I loved this moment, and like heart that one for sure. Gonna save that. But yeah, no, I love that, and I feel like as photographers, a lot of the audience are photographers. We know the importance of legacy and photos, but a lot of times we don't know how to like convey that or like explain to our potential clients that like they're like part of what we're doing is preserving their legacy through taking these photos.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any tips or like maybe even like just
You know,
ways of phrasing that?
yeah, I mean, I actually think your audience would really benefit. Those photographers who want to expand on their services would really benefit from learning how to become a certified photo manager, which, they can reach out to me. I can give you my link where they could just sign up to have a, a pretty easy, at the beginning, the starter
Okay.
ways of just learning how to do photo organization. Because, the thing is, you're already doing the marketing. You already have the website. You already have the audience. Whatever your photography may be, the style of photography may be, all of those people who you take photographs for will need their photos organized and curated. Now, whether you want to take that on or not is a different question, but I think it's a good thing to explore. And I'll definitely, because I don't provide that link usually unless I'm talking to photographers, but I will give that link to you for you to upload later. But
Yeah.
to answer the question, you know, dealing with people's digital assets is a thing because it's very IT heavy. My business is extremely IT heavy. It's a lot of workflows because when you're gathering someone's digital assets, you have to make sure that a lot of people did a ton of work to put things in folders. This is back in 2000, 2001,
Yeah.
when there was no iCloud. So they would, put their SD card in. Hopefully they downloaded the photos. I have a client who had 873 SD cards because they didn't realize that they can download the photos. So they
We're
just kept
just
buying more
buying new
SD
ones.
cards.
Oh no.
Oh my God. Like, what is
that's,
this?
that's so expensive.
So expensive. Oh,
Oh man.
bless them. I mean, I
It's like
literally had
the
a giant bag of SD cards and I'm like, what is happening right now? Anyway,
that's so
but they would
funny.
put things in folders and what you don't want is to lose that information of the folder, right? So it's like so many things that
Mhm.
we mess up along the way and we learn. Yeah, I mean, the best thing you could do is teach your clients to I tell all my clients to hire a photographer at least once a year because I love it when I see professional photographs in their archives, so I can, when I'm doing a photo book for them, to really highlight the good pictures. Most people aren't great photographers.
No.
And so what I would say is maybe teach your clients how to take good photographs on their iPhones, like framing. Please don't put someone's head in the bottom or even in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Framing is really important, and most people can learn framing. If they can't learn anything else, they can maybe learn framing, and to clean their camera lens. I can't say that enough.
There we go. Those two things is going to take your photos from here all the way up.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. I've done a couple like mini classes, just like 2 or 3 hours in a day where I invite past clients and just anyone who wants to come learn how to take photos, either with an iPhone or with whatever digital camera you have, and yeah, like just that, like learning about light and like, okay, don't put them here with this this backlight unless you have light in the front too, and like those kind of things where like so many times you just like you're pulling out your phone really quick or you're pulling out your camera to take a photo of something that's going on, and just like if you took one step over to the right, it would
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
10 times better.
Yeah, that's right. I see people making that mistake all the time. Like, you're backlit. You're
Mm-hmm.
all going to be silhouettes, and it's not intentional. Like, I love silhouette pictures, but I like it
Yep.
intentionally.
Yes.
I always tell people to put their arms up because I can't see their faces. So, express with your body because you're a silhouette.
Right. Yeah. Just everyone arms just hanging down by their sides. Like, all right, this is captivating. But yeah, no, that's really good to like educate your clients, your audience that's following you, of just like, this is how you take better photos. And like I for sure want to keep getting hired, and I know that they have like a decent photo or a decent camera on their phone. uh, I am not afraid of phone cameras taking my business away, but I want them to be able to take great photos throughout the year, to where they're not only getting those great photos whenever they hire me, but they're getting great photos of just like a random Tuesday where their kids,
Exactly.
eating a bunch of waffles or something. Like, oh, this is a great moment. I need to get a photo of this, and they know how to frame it well to where it would be something that would be included in a photo book like that, and something that they're wanting to hold on to for years and pass down generations, to where they're gonna they're gonna want that, instead of just like, I don't know, you can't really make out what this photo was that was from when I was a kid, so I'm just gonna toss it because they can't tell because the quality's so bad. But now I love that. I love the idea of like passing along down to generations. Like growing up, we didn't have much money, and like I have some photos from, I don't know, like maybe whenever I was a baby to like 3 or 4, and then like nothing until high school age. And it was all film back then, so we didn't have the money to have that. And just like that idea of having the photos of like my kids that I can pass along to them whenever they're adults, and uh, they will be able to look back and see like what I look like in my 30s, and that kind of stuff is just, it's really important, and something that we don't really think about too much, uh, like really think about and sit with. We're just like,
Yeah.
oh no, this is important. We're doing that, but like sitting with it and thinking like, these photos that I'm taking could be around 100 years from now,
Yeah.
with someone just passing along to their kids and grandkids and so
Yeah.
on.
And hopefully it will be, right? And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it is in a manner where it can be passed on. Hopefully you're not passing on 300,000 assets in your iCloud to your
Yeah.
kids. Like some of my clients have that amount of stuff. And it's just overwhelming. And somehow between like iPhoto to photos, things got a little messed up and things got duplicated. And so a lot of people don't even realize now, if you have an iPhone, that you can take out your duplicate straight on your iPhone. They're like, oh, I didn't know that. Yes, yes, you can. So, I mean, just get things cleaned up, and make sure if you do have an iPhone or an Android, make sure you set up legacy. I had a client whose husband died in 2021. It wasn't unexpected, but they just
Mm-hmm.
literally had no idea that they should go in his iCloud or on his phone and set up a legacy contact. And now she has to go through and get court orders in order to be able to access his iCloud, even though they were married. You know, they have 2 kids together. They owned properties, multiple properties together. Now she has to pay $5,000 to get a court order in order to even apply through Apple,
Oh
because
wow.
yeah, so that's something that's in your settings. For anyone listening, please go ahead and find your legacy contact in your settings and add as many family members as they do have to have iCloud as well. It connects to their iCloud, but just add family members to it.
Yeah, that's great. I didn't even know about that. I'm gonna do that like right now.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I mean that it makes sense, but it doesn't. Of just like, oh yeah, like with Apple, they're working with me. They're not working with my wife too. Like my
right.
iCloud is mine, and like they have big, privacy policies and everything, to where like they're not just going to share because she's family. So it makes sense, but also like but she's my wife. So like if I'm gone, she should. So yeah, definitely
Apple doesn't
said
care that
I'm
you
going
have
to
a
set that.
wife.
They don't. No.
Yeah, they care about your privacy more than anything.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. Another non-photo related, I do a lot of iPhone workshops.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, if your audience wants to sign up on my newsletter, we do a lot of iPhone workshops. But one of the other things is making sure you set up your medical ID on your phone. And that is something that all EMTs know exactly where to go on your phone, and they have access to it, whether it's open or not, to be able to see what you're allergic to. God forbid you get hit by something on the street. I don't know. Anything can happen. But,
Yeah.
you can have your medical contacts, if you're, allergic to penicillin or what, all the medications that you're currently taking. So they can take a look at that. And that is something that is awesome that is available to EMTs. So that's another little tidbit.
Yeah, that's a great tidbit. I don't think I have that set up either. I really need to, I really need to get on this after this. But no, I love that, and I love this whole conversation. Are there any last things that you would want to say for the listeners to
Yeah.
like be able to serve their clients better, or to think about their own photos and their own legacy?
Yeah. And thinking about your own stuff, make sure that you have two-factor authentication on, especially for all your business stuff. If you're a business owner, make sure you have that on for your email system, for your, and make sure someone has access to that, again, in case something happens. But make sure that your social media accounts, you can provide a legacy on Facebook and, all the Meta suites, as well as the Google suites. You can give a legacy contact for those as well. But a two-factor authentication is an absolute no-brainer. Excuse me. I use 1Password, and I set that up for my clients. So having a password manager that just gives you a really ridiculously long password that you will never remember, and you don't need to remember because you have 1Password. I used to have LastPass, and then they got hacked like 3 times in 1 year, and I was like, yeah, no, I don't think so. Bye.
Yeah, I can't trust you anymore.
And 1Password is like so hard to get into because they have this like 16-digit key or whatever that you can't even get into your own account unless you have that. But setting up a password management system is really important. That can allow you to easily do 2FA on all your accounts.
Okay, that is good. Yeah, a lot of times like I have 1Password, not the app, but or the manager, but I have like this 1Password that I use for everything. And then if that gets hacked anywhere, it's just like, well, now they can get into your bank. Now they can get into all the things and lock you out of everything. So yeah, no, this like that 1Password thing is really, really great, because that's way more of a strong password than anything that I could come up with. Because it's got like all different special characters and everything in there. But yeah. Well, great. I think that's really, really, really good information for everyone. Before we wrap things up, there is a part of the show that I like to talk about what we're loving this week. It can be literally anything, TV show, book, movie, whatever. What are you loving this week?
I am loving the spring weather in Los Angeles this week. I cannot get enough of me walking outside in the morning. And there's so many birds where I live, and all the birds are chirping in the morning, and the weather is like crisp and delicious, and I'm just loving the weather. I'm just staying in the present moment with that.
Yeah, there's something about whenever like that transition into spring is just like everything is warming up, and it feels good to be outside again. Like I love cold weather for a season. I like it for a little while, but it is nice to like, oh, I can wear shorts again. Okay. And like not have to have gloves whenever I'm playing outside with the kids. And
I just love it. I love the newness of it. It just feels everything's new. Like the leaves are chartreuse. They haven't gone super green yet. It just feels so good.
Yeah, it always feels like renewal and like the beginning of the year for me. Like January doesn't feel like the beginning of the year for it's just like everything's kind of like coming in after the holidays and everything's still
Hmm.
cold. But spring always feels like that renewal of just like, okay, this is when we start and then we'll come
I
back
love
around to
that.
next spring.
Yeah, I mean, as an Iranian American, we celebrate the first day of spring as our New Year. So,
Yeah,
and it's a non-religious celebration that happens actually in many countries in the Middle East. And so yeah, it is New Year,
it
literally for
is.
everyone
Yeah, literally. Yeah, and that just makes sense. Yeah.
in the Northern Hemisphere.
That is true. Yeah, our friends in like New Zealand right now, they are.
Sorry,
Uh,
it's the
it's
beginning of fall.
your autumn. You're good.
You're autumn. It's
Also
fine.
a pretty time, but awesome. No, I love that too. I'm also what I'm loving this week is I have this foot massager that my wife got me for Christmas. It was great. She like had visited family and used theirs and was like, "I'm getting this for you after those wedding days," and it's got like the compression and like the rolling pins and stuff in there, and it is really really great. I think it's like called like cloud massage or something like that. It's I'm loving it. It's just I have it under my desk, so whenever I'm editing photos and things, I'll just stick my feet in there, turn it on,
Great.
and it's
And here's the key to gadgets. You got to use them.
exactly, yeah, yep. It's not gonna do any good if it's just like, all right,
Right.
well, sitting in the closet, I'll bring this out whenever I think about it. It's just
Exactly.
it's there, kind of in my way. So I'm like, well, if I want to sit really comfortably, I'm gonna put my feet right in here. But,
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. Well, Holly, thank you so much for being on the show. Where can people find you online? Where can they connect?
Yeah, we have a great website with a lot of resources, picturely.com. It's spelled a little weird. It's Picturli. So it ends in an I and it has no E.
Cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, I'll have links for that, and also the resources that you were talking about earlier. I'll have links for that in the show notes for everyone. But yeah, well, thank you for being on the show. I really enjoyed getting to chat with you today.
Yeah, you too. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Wisdom and the Tangents podcast. As always, you can check out all the things in the show notes at podcast.allheartphoto.com. Also got a lot of free resources for you over there as well, so definitely check out those. Follow Haleh, follow Picturli, follow the show on Instagram. We would love to see you over there. And until next week, keep it up. I don't know. I didn't have anything for that. But yeah, keep it up. Keep up whatever you're doing. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Bye, y'all.